Shalom, everyone. Want to continue on regarding the Book of Jubilees. So, I just did the last subject, which is, about, more in details of what happened between Jacob and Esau. So I already did the last video on that. So this video or this subject is going to be about consequences of defilement. And this is going to be a shorter video because only 2 chapters out of the book of Jubilees, regarding, the consequences to defilement. So now I am going to start. This is going to start in Jubilees chapter 30. It's going to be chapter 30, and then chapter 33 is another chapter that talks about there was a defilement that happened, the consequences against defilement. So those 2 chapters talk about this subject specifically. So hope you all enjoyed this video. All right, here we go. Chapter 30 in the book of Jubilees. And in the first year of the 6th week, he went up to Salem, to the east of Shechem, in peace in the 4th month. And they carried off Dinah, the daughter of Jacob, into the house of Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hittite, the prince of the land, and he lay with her and defiled her. And she was a little girl, a child of 12 years old. So obviously, Dinah was, a daughter of Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons, of course, and she just got defiled by someone in this land. He pleaded with his father and her brothers that she might be given to him as wife. Oh, and by the way, when the prince of the land lay with her and defiled her, I'm pretty sure he just raped her, like, because she was a little girl and she was raped. It has to be a rape because I know she probably didn't even know what was going on or something. She was probably scared when that happened. You never know. But anyways, then he pleaded with his father and her brothers that she might be given to him as wife. But Jacob and his sons were wroth because of the men of Shechem, for they have defiled Dinah, their sister, and they spoke to them with an evil intent and dealt deceitfully with them and deceived them. Well, that's sad, all right. And Simon and Levi came unexpectedly to Shechem and executed judgment on all the men of Shechem and slew all the men whom they found in it, and left not a single one remaining in it. And they slew all in anguish because they have dishonored their sister Dinah. And thus let it not be done again from this time on, that a daughter of Israel or Yasharal be defiled, for judgment is ordained in the heavens against them, for they should destroy with the sword all the men of the Shechemites, because they have acted shamefully in Yasharal. And Yahuwah delivered them into the hands of the sons of Jacob, for they might wipe them out with the sword and execute judgment upon them, and that it might not be done so again in Yasharal, that a maiden of Yasharal should be defiled. Well, that is a great promise, Yahuwah protecting, his women from defilement. That's a very great promise, all right. I just want to say real quick, this is a big deal. A woman who is a virgin, never had sex in her life, it's very, very important for her to not be defiled with the wrong man, because that man's seed, when the semen enters into her, it defiles her, like it changes her. It, just changes everything about her. It's like a transformation. This is why Yahuwah is so hard and strict when it comes to sex, because fornication and all that stuff going on. This is why people are acting so crazy nowadays. They're just out of their mind because all the wickedness going on because of all this fornication going on in this world today. And as long as the woman is pure, she wouldn't be defiled by a wicked man's semen, and that semen wouldn't affect her DNA, because it actually does affect. It can affect the DNA of the woman too. On top, this is why Yahuwah was strict when it comes to sex. Sex should only be between husband and wife, and it shouldn't be, just random people or whatever, people you meet or whatever, because you never know. Those people you meet, you never know where they come from. You don't know how they are. You don't know what they worship and all kinds of stuff. And you can just get defiled like that by what, you know, it's just a huge thing, because the reason Satan influenced this world today to accept fornication, because Satan's doing his best to try to destroy people, even though Yahuwah is protecting the remnant, his chosen people, from all of this stuff going on. I was once a fornicator, and Yahuwah has healed me from that. And I'm not affected by like the exes I used to be with anymore. I don't even think about them anymore. They're out of my mind, etc. Now I have a pure husband that I'm with. He worships Yahuwah just like I do. We're in one accord. We're definitely meant to be together. But to those, it's very sad reality of this world today, because Satan's trying to poison people, trying to just destroy people. It's very, very sad of what's going on. This is why it's prophesied that good would be called evil and evil would be called good. That's exactly what's going on right now in this world. I just literally had to say that because it's it's a very big, 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 big deal on who you have sex with. So now I'm going to continue reading chapter 30 in the book of Jubilees, for where I left off at so far. All right. And Yahuwah delivered them into the hands of the sons of Jacob, that they might wipe them out with the sword and execute judgment upon them, that it might not be done so again in Yasharal, that a maiden of Yasharal should be defiled. And if there is any man in Yasharal who desires to give his daughter or his sister to any man who is of the seed of the Gentiles, he should certainly die, and they shall stone him with stones, and he has acted shamefully in Yasharal. And they shall burn the women with fire, because she has dishonored the name of the house of her father, and she shall be rooted out of Yasharal. So obviously, now that we're in the New Testament or the Renewed Covenant, nowadays, spiritually speaking, it's very, very good to be careful who you marry and who you have relations with. You have to be very, very, very careful. If you're a man, make sure you get to know the woman really well before getting serious with her. Same with the woman. If the woman, you need to know the man really well before getting serious with him, because sometimes, people can just put on a mask and pretend that there's someone really great and charming and nice and stuff, even though on the inside they have a evil, wicked heart. So you have to really, make sure you see through them. Make sure you ask a lot of questions. Make sure wait until you see their true colors come out too. It literally takes up to 6 months for someone to actually show their true colors. So wait at least 6 months, get to know someone. Then after that, they will, a lot of people show their true colors after 3 months, but between 3 to 6 months, this is an average of when someone will start showing their true colors. Because obviously when you start to get to know someone, when you just met them, it's all good and dandy, like flowers everywhere and everything all popping up, because everyone does it. Everyone puts their best foot forward when they first meet someone. That's how it is. That's how every humans are. But after a while you start to see their true colors. And this is when, after all of that, after you ask them a lot of questions, this is when you should, question, because the problem is, in today's time, the reason why a lot of people regret that they married a specific person is because they rushed into the marriage, they rushed into a relationship, and then they regret that they were with that person in the first place. A lot of people be coming out saying, "Who did I marry?" because they rushed into a relationship thinking that they are a completely different person like they were in the beginning, then they changed over time. Those type of people are not sincere. Only real and sincere people will show their real self from the beginning and not have a mask on for the first few months and then show their evil true colors after that. So I just had to tell you that is just be very careful when it comes to having relationships, and it's a very critical thing for your life, because sometimes it can even take your life to be with the wrong person. Sometimes, for example, someone would not know that they're a murderer and like they kill them later. It's just so evil right now. So sometimes, being with someone can even take your life too. That's how dangerous it is out there. All right. Now, I know I had to speak all this because this is a very critical and important thing right here. So now, regarding the last verse I read, when it was talking about do not take any one of the Gentiles, now that we're in the renewed covenant of the New Testament, that right now it means to not take someone that would be stuck in their religion. If someone has a different belief system that does not agree with Yahuwah's word and they have a different religion, even atheism, etc., and they want to just be stuck in it and not even hear Yahuwah's word, be careful. Do not be with them, because remember, if you want to make it to eternal life, you have to be very careful who you marry, because sometimes a marriage can cause someone to fall away from Yahuwah, prevent them from salvation, and they just go back into sin, etc. Sometimes it's bad to marry someone that be a negative influence in your life. You have to be with someone that's in a positive influence, not a negative influence. And goes back to rushing into relationships. Sometimes those same people have evil intentions to destroy someone over time, even though because it's a negative influence, especially if it's an abusive marriage and all kinds of stuff. That's really bad too. So I just had to speak that out because it's a very critical time we're living in. We're living in these last days. Oh, it's prophesied the love of many will wax cold in these last days. And look at what's going on here in America. I just can see it out the window. People's love is waxed cold. More people are selfish, more people are prideful, more people are greedy. All the sins are showing out. The sins are normal to the world. So, I'm talking about practicing those things. That's very horrible what's going on right now. All right. Now I'm going to continue reading. All right. So, do not let an adulteress nor uncleanness be found in Yasharal unto forever the generations of the earth. For Yasharal is set apart to Yahuwah, and every man who defiles it shall certainly die, and they shall stone him with stones. And for it is ordained and written in the tablets of the heavens regarding all the seed of Yasharal, he who defiles it shall certainly die, and he shall be stoned with stones. So let me say this real quick. This is very important because obviously we're in the New Testament, but the stoning and the fire and all that being burned in the fire, that is a metaphor of Judgment Day. So those that purposely practice fornication and adultery obviously is not going to make it to salvation. This is why the commandments are the way it is. They're not going to make it to salvation. If they practice lawlessness, Yahushua told his disciples that, and this is going toward to everyone that he will not accept those that practice lawlessness. So even though this is talking about stoning and burning someone, all that stuff, but don't focus on that. Focus on how you're going to get burned up on Judgment Day if you practice defilement. That's how serious this is. It's very serious. The world right now, as we speak, a lot of people are defiling themselves, practicing going out and practicing fornication and adultery and constantly having sex with multiple people and defiling themselves greatly to a point where they just have weird personality disorders and demonic possessions and all kinds of stuff due to all this defilement stuff going on. It enters doorways for demons. This is why sex is a very critical thing when it comes to spiritual warfare. Demons, they can not only they enter into a person that's drunk or is high or is drugged up, whatever, but they even enter into a person through sexual intercourse. It's not just, the possessions we see when people are drugged up or drunk or high or whatever, because obviously those are different demons too. But the sexual intercourse, like if there was this pure virgin right here, and then there was this defiled person that had sex with multiple people, had sex with this virgin, and then the virgin catches all the stuff, all not just his or her, whatever, it doesn't matter if it's male or female, but if she or he, that the virgin catches all this stuff from the other person, catches even everyone that this person had sex with on top of that person's own DNA and whatever. It's called a soul tie. It's a demonic, it's a demonic thing. There's a good soul tie and there's a bad soul tie. So look it up for yourselves. This is why this is very, very, very critical to this is why defilement is a big deal. Because once you're defiled, there's no way of turning back unless you repent. Once you repent, come back to Yahuwah, of course you'll get healed from that. But if you don't and you practice it, you're going down to the grave. You're going to go down to, you know, the day of judgment. So, this is why this is very, very, very important, because it literally costs your life. Unless you come to Yahuwah and he will heal you, that's a different story. But now, and to this law there is no limit of days, no remission, nor any atonement, but the man who has defiled his daughter shall be rooted out of the midst of Yasharal, because he has given of his seed to Molech, and has acted wickedly as to defile it. To you Moses shall command to the children of Yasharal, and charge them not to give their daughters to the Gentiles, and not to take their sons of any of the Gentiles or of any of the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is an abomination before Yahuwah. For this reason I have written for you in the words of the law of all the deeds of the Shechemites, which they did against Dinah, and how the sons of Jacob spoke, saying, we shall not give our daughter to a man who is uncircumcised, for that is a reproach to us. And it is a reproach to Yasharal, to those who give, to those who take the daughters of the Gentiles, for this is unclean and an abomination to Yasharal. And Yasharal shall not be free from this uncleanness if it has a wife of the daughters of the Gentiles, or has given of any of the daughters to a man who is of any of the Gentiles. For there shall be a plague upon plague, curse upon curse, and every judgment and plague and curse shall come if he does this matter, or hide his eyes from those who commit uncleanness. For those who defile the temple of Yahuwah, the temple of Yahuwah is our bodies now, since we're in the renewed covenant. Now, or those who profane his set apart name, the whole nation together shall be judge of all uncleanness and wickedness of this. And there shall be no respect of faces, and no receiving at his hands of first fruits, and offerings, and burnt offerings, and fat, nor the fragrance of the sweet incense, so as to accept it. And so it is for every man or woman in Yasharal who defiles the temple. Once again, defiling the temple is defiling our bodies. Now that our bodies are the temple, our bodies are the stones of the third temple. All right, here we go. For this reason I have commanded you, saying, witness this witness to Yasharal, and see what became of the Shechemites and their sons, and how they were delivered into the hands of two sons of Jacob, and they slew them under agony. For it was unto them for righteousness, and it is written down to them for righteousness. And the seed of Levi was chosen for the Kehunah to be Levites, so that they might serve before Yahuwah as we continually, and that Levi and his sons may be blessed forever, for he has ardent and execute righteousness and judgment and vengeance on all those who rose up against Yasharal. And they ascribed as a witness in his favor on the tablets of the heavens blessings and righteousness before the God of all. And we remember the righteousness which the man fulfilled during his life at all the periods of the year, until 1,000 generations they shall record it. And it shall come to him and his descendants after him, and he has been recorded on the tablets of the heavens as a friend and as a righteous man. And this account I have written for you, and I have commanded you to say to the children of Yasharal, that they should not commit sin, nor transgress the laws, nor break the covenant which has been ordained for them, for they shall complete it and be recorded as friends. But if they transgress and work uncleanness in every way, they shall be recorded on the tablets of the heavens as adversaries, and they shall be destroyed out of the book of life, and they shall be recorded in the book of those who shall be destroyed, and with those who shall be rooted out of the earth. And in the days when the sons of Jacob slew Shechem, a writing was recorded in their favor in the heavens, that they had executed righteousness and uprightness and vengeance on the sinners, and it was written for a blessing. And they brought Dinah their sister out of the house of Shechem, and they took captive all that was in Shechem, and their sheep and their cattle, and their donkeys, and all their wealth, and all their flocks, and brought them all to Jacob their father. And he reproached them because they had put the city to the sword, and he feared those who dwelt in the land of the Canaanites and the Perizzites. And the dread of Yahuwah was upon all the cities which are round about Shechem, and they did not rise to pursue after the sons of Jacob, for terror had fallen upon them. So that is it for chapter 30 of the book of Jubilees. Now I'm going to go to chapter 33, because this was the other chapter that talked about another case of defilement and the consequences to it. So obviously chapters 31, 32, these are already in the book of Genesis. So now I'm going to go to chapter 33, which is another account. All right, chapter 33 of the book of Jubilees. And Jacob went and dwelt to the south of Magdalareth, and he went into his father Isaac, he and Leah his wife, on the new moon of the 10th month. And Reuben saw Bilhah, Rachel's female servant, the concubine of his father, washing in water in a secret place, and he loved her. And he hid himself at night, and he entered the house of Bilhah, and he found her sleeping alone on a bed in her house. And he laid with her, and she awoke and looked, and see, Reuben was lying with her in the bed. And she uncovered the border of her covering, and seized him, and cried out, and discovered it was Reuben. And she was ashamed because of him, and released her hand from him, and he fled. And she lamented because of this matter exceedingly, and did not tell it to anyone. And when Jacob returned and sought her, she said to him, I am unclean for you, for I have been defiled in regard to you, for Reuben has defiled me, and has lain with me in the night, and I was asleep, and I did not discover until he uncovered my skirt and slept with me. And Jacob was exceedingly wroth with Reuben, because he had lain with Bilhah, because he had uncovered his father's skirt. And Jacob did not approach her again, because Reuben had defiled her. For as for any man who uncovers his father's skirt, his deed is exceedingly wicked, for he is abominable before Yahuwah. For this reason it is written and ordained on the tablets of the heavens, that a man should not lie with his father's wife, and should not uncover his father's skirt, for this is unclean. For they shall certainly die together, the man who lies with his father's wife, and the woman also, for they have wrought uncleanness on the earth. And there shall be none unclean before Yahuwah in the nation which he has chosen for himself as a possession. And again it is written a second time, Cursed is he who lies with the wife of his father, for he has uncovered his father's shame. And all the set apart ones of Yahuwah said, So be it, so be it. And you, Moses, shall command the children of Yasharal that they observe this word, a punishment of death is for it, it is unclean, and there is no atonement forever to atone for the man who has committed this. And he is to be put to death and slain, stoned with stones, and rooted out from the midst of the people of Yahuwah. And to no man who does this, so in Yasharal it is permitted to be remained alive a single day on the earth, for he is abominable and unclean. And let them not say to Reuben was granted life and forgiveness after he had lain with his father's concubine, and to her also, though she had had a husband, and her husband Jacob his father was still alive. For until that time there had not been revealed the law and right ruling and Torah in its completeness for all, but in your days is a law of seasons of days, and an everlasting law for the generations forever. And for this law there is no end of days and no atonement for it, but they must both be rooted out in the midst of the nation on the day which they committed it, they shall slay them. For you, Moses, shall write down for Yasharal that they may observe it and do according to these words, and not commit a sin unto death. For Yahuwah is judge and who does not respect faces and accepts no bribes. And tell them these words of the covenant that they may hear and observe and be on their guard and regard to them and not be destroyed and rooted out of the land. For all that they who do so are an uncleanness and an abomination and a contamination and a pollution on the earth before Yahuwah. There is no greater sin than the whoring which they commit on earth, for Yasharal is a set apart nation unto Yahuwah, and a nation of inheritance, and a kehunah, and a royal nation, and a possession. And no such uncleanness shall appear in the midst of the set apart nation. And in the 3rd year of the 6th week, Jacob and all his sons went and dwelt in the house of Abraham, near Isaac his father and Rebekah his mother. And these were the names of the sons of Jacob: the firstborn Reuben, Simon, Levi, Judah, Issachar. Oh, sorry, I got tongue twisted. Zebulun, the sons of Leah, the sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin, and the sons of Bela, Dan and Naphtali, the sons of Zilpah, Gad and Asher, and Dinah, the daughter of Leah, the only daughter of Jacob. And they came and bowed themselves to Isaac and Rebekah, and they saw them. They blessed Jacob and all his sons, and Isaac rejoiced exceedingly, and he saw the sons of Jacob, his younger son, and he blessed them. That is it for the chapter 33 of the book of Jubilees. So now you see how serious it is when it comes to defilement. So this is why I had to do this. So the book of Jubilees, not just the book of Jubilees, but even the original books, in scriptures that you read or whatever, they all talk about how critical it is, regarding fornication and stuff. So yeah, so this is it for this subject. I hope you all enjoy this subject, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Yeah, that is it for this subject. So hope you all have a wonderful day, and